Hi, Tony here again. So again, another short video just on again another small collection of another set of instruments that didn't really fit into some of the other categories that I'd previously shown, uh, and that would be just some various gauges, instruments, controls that some of the things I've been working on. As I said in the previous video, I think I've been sort of trying to finish off some of the half-started projects that I'd had going along there. So I've been finishing and almost finishing some of these instruments now, so they're at the sort of point where there's sort of something meaningful to show. So I've got this is an EGT gauge there with an adjustable reference marker, and another variant of that EGT gauge, this time with a red pointer and a red line. That's Alcor branded gauges, something fairly self-explanatory there, just a simple EGT gauge. Something here that adds a nice little touch to the panel, and that's what you see in a lot of aircraft, an ELT switch. So I've done a horizontal version because you do see it mounted like that sometimes in some aircraft. So you can just flick the switch to test, and it'll do this 5 little bleep thing, or you can flick it to on and it'll do it'll set the ELT off. I'm not going to do that. And then there's a vertical version. What I didn't say was you can in both of these types you can set the both in the horizontal and the vertical version. So there's the same vertical version as the one we just looked at, but also there's another type which again is another quite common one of an Artex branded ELT. There are other ones I know I could probably get round to doing them, but they're the ones I've seen that tend to be fitted quite common. If they're not exactly Artex, they're very similar to this. So this one is press on, wait 1 second. Yeah, so you switch it on, you leave it a second, that'll just keep going now. Now I've switched it off, it won't. So it'll just do that little test. You just flick it on, leave it for a second, and then back off again, and then it will do the test. So it's a little bit different to operation to the other one, but again, very similar. Doesn't do a lot in terms of interaction with the sim, but it's just a nice little touch for the panel, for those instrument panels that do have the ELT switch. And there was something else. What's that other little sundry items? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I've got a little CO detector here that also is another little item. So when you switch it on, you get that little self-test beep, and you can press the test button there and get the little alert. Again, doesn't do a lot in the sim unless you wanted a perhaps simulate CO in the cabin and set this alarm off. I suppose you could do that, but again it adds a nice little touch to the panel, just a little basic instrument, something that I started and finished off fairly recently. Oh, I did have a tinker with one of the Collins ADF radios. So this was one that I think I'd seen in the online store, but the version that was in the store was not as complete as this one. Didn't have a lot of the features, and so it was missing the mode switch here on the left hand side, or the little sorry, I think the switch was there, but it didn't have, was it the mode or was it the volume? I can't remember. But it didn't have the indicator here, the arrow indicator with the different modes on that you can toggle through. It didn't have the test function here, and that issues and controls the indicator to move the needle a certain direction depending on where the antenna is fitted. And the functionality of these dials and these numbers is now a bit more accurate to the real instrument in terms of the way that they don't round up, and that they just carry on flicking round when you get back there like that, instead of, I think on the old one, when I went down from 224 rather than going to 17224 as it does in the real instrument, you just toggle between there and there. It was going 200 because it was rounding these 24 down 0. Even though I wasn't touching these knobs, it was messing about with these numbers. So just a little fix up to the logic to sort that out, but just makes it a little bit more realistic. So that was that one. Just having a look in the list here. I think that's probably it, other than, oh okay, there's another one that I can show you. This is a fuel selector valve that I'd worked on a long time ago that I'd started, and that is a brand called Andair that I fitted to a few aircraft. Really nice fuel selector valves that I've seen in aircraft before. Really nice quality anodized aluminium, most of these things, and they come in this this black, or you can get them in a like a silvery finish. So I've made this fully configurable, these fuel selector valves, so you can select between one or two engines, in terms of you want this valve to operate the fuel supply for the number 1 engine or number 2 engine. You can select the type of fuel valve, so they do a number of different types, and they call them types 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 7. So this is a type 3 that you're looking at the moment, so it's got left and right, so you can just operate that. So here's a nice animation on the operation of the dial there. That's just a simple one that operates between left and right, and it's also got an off position. You can see here, if I try and go down again from the right position, you can see you can't inadvertently go to off, so that's just like the real instrument. There's this plunger on the end here that you have to pull to inadvertently lift the gate that stops you from inadvertently changing between left and right. So you have to push this, and then you can turn the fuel off. And you have to push and hold that actually for a short while to simulate as if you was pulling this this knob up to release the gate, so to enable you to turn it on and off. So that's the left and right one, but there is also what's variant one? I'm not sure what variant one is. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that's just a simple off and on. So again, you have to hold it to turn it off, and you can just turn it back on normal. Then there's a variant 2. What's that? So that's a left right off, similar to the variant 3, but the layout is slightly different. So you've got left and right there with an off, and then variant. We looked at variant 3, so we'll look at variant 4. What's this? Okay, so this is a left, right, and a both. So it's both left. Yeah, so it's more like a Cessna type one. And again, it's got the push the button and lift to off. 5. I'm not sure why it's doing that animation bit backwards and forwards at the beginning. I'll have to look at that. It shouldn't be doing that. I don't remember it doing that before, so maybe, I don't know if something's changed in the sim, or anyway, I can fix that. I'm sure it's something simple that is happening there that I can stop that, so it doesn't do that funny animation at the very beginning. You see it's okay after that. Oh yeah, so this one's not a both, it's a left main or right variant, and then the last one, I'm not sure what the last one is. Oh, again, okay, that's just a simple left and right, but you can see they're laid out now in this sort of at 45s from off a centre pattern, depending on that's quite a nice one actually, left and right tank. And then obviously you lift, oops, you have to push and hold, and then rotate to off. Yeah, and then as I said, they come in a silvery finish as well, so I'm going to show you all of those ones are available in the silver version of the same dial. So that's the equivalent of the one that I just showed you, but with the silvery finish. with the left and the right knobs. Yeah. Oh, and I've also applied the lighting effects to these as well, so these will get darker if it's dark in the cockpit. These fascias will start to get dark to simulate the darker lighting effects. So that's a nice, and I think I also did an animated version of the Cessna one, but I'm not sure what I did with that. It's not in this same instrument. I think it's in a different instrument somewhere, but I may have archived that off now, and it's not. I don't think it's in my list here yet. Anyway, so just again another small collection of some of the instruments I've been working on. Thanks for watching.